Do I think contractors should talk law? No. Do I think they should get out and just make outlandish statements about policies? Probably not. But if you're talking about, hey, should this be covered? Is this covered? And in your situation, you have a significant financial interest, right? You're about to put your money on this deal.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom. We've got a special guest, the Large Loss Lounge host, the Large Loss boss himself, Pate Smith, on this episode. Been doing a big commercial push here recently in the Blue Collar Launch Group, a launch for 2021 contractors. Their biggest questions about how do we sell more commercial jobs? How do we break into landing more blue collar lottery tickets? And, Pate, you're an expert on that. And you've been creating a lot of good content. You got a lot of stuff working. You got nominated for some awards this year. And as you do every year, you're going to be in the running or winning for sure. You're always being recognized out there in the industry as a leading commercial public adjuster, commercial expert. Now you're with a law firm. So what you been up to, bro?
Man, right now I'm studying for the Alabama bar exam. I'm trying to go ahead and go from JD to Esquire and just get on to the top. And my goal is by the time I'm 40 to have the largest, most successful first-party law firm in the world. I know I'm going to do it, hopefully by 38, and then figure out what's next from there. Just one day at a time. Really, still growing, studying. Every day is just, I learned something. So that's why I like this industry, is because I knew nothing before, and I know not a lot, but some now.
Well, see, I didn't realize, I saw that y'all opened an office in Fairhope. Ton of damage down in that area. I'm kind of expanding more and more into it. Got a lot of projects in Alabama, and I really want to bring y'all in on some more of the stuff, because we have a lot of stuff pending in the Alabama area. But where did you grow up? Are you from like that area?
Yeah, I'm from Ozark, Alabama, which is a small town. I think we're maybe up to 13,000 people. I went to the county school. Shout out George W. Long, baseball capital of the South. Did that, man. Went to Alabama. Went to BSL for law school. Graduated there. I had already had a company that wasn't in this industry. 2016, I got into the industry, maybe 17. Here in Omaha, met Tristan Farrell. He and I kicked it off. And like the third thing I ever sold was like a $6-ish million file. I didn't even know the difference between an EPDM and a 3-tab shingle. I got in there, sold the deal. I went against another PA firm. I think they came in at 10%. I said, I know I can outsell this guy. They said the other guy's coming in at 10%. And I said, yeah, that's fine. If you want to work with them at 10%, but if you want to work with me, here's the steps, and this is our percentage. And we went from there. I knew nothing. Luckily, I had a subject matter expert on the construction portion in there that was able to help me out. And I think that's key, that public adjuster or attorney and contractor team. I think when you come in with that team that understands, I'm the first one to say, I don't know as much as contractors on construction. I never will. That's not my job. So why am I ever going to pretend like I do? So when we go into those meetings, I bring these guys in and I say, listen, this is your expert at this. This is your expert over here at this. We're going to run the claim for you, and this is what we do. And since then, I've had pretty good success in figuring out how to get in front of some of the best commercial experts, some of the best property managers. I'm big in the hotel industry. I've made friends in a lot of different ways to get large losses. And I love it. I don't play sports really anymore. This is my sport. I wake up every day. I learn something about it. I train to be the best. And I don't know if I am the best, but that's my goal.
One of the best, hands down. That's why I got you on the show, and it's why we're going to be working together in the future. We just did a direct mail blitz where we sent out a $2 bill, a survey, and a hand-addressed direct mail to a bunch of commercial property owners, and it works like clockwork. Sometimes they actually check the box that they want a roof inspection. Sometimes they just fill the survey back and, say they're all good with the roof, but then we call them and we find out, more information. For me, direct mail's been a badass lead strategy, and it's old school, but whenever you can combine direct mail with phone calls, there's all different kinds of variations that we use it for. We do live events, we do just straight to the business owner. What are some of the best marketing strategies you've seen for commercial jobs?
Yeah, man. So I'd like to hit it on a couple different platforms, I guess. I'm very strategic on each one. So going after storage facilities, I'm going to go to the people, the commercial lenders that in a specific town tend to lend to those individuals, and I'm going to have discussions with them to get referrals on. That's as a PA, contractor, attorney, everybody I know that I've told to do that method that's been effective. On hotels, you're going to have to get in and kind of become a member of that community. So hotel communities are typically tight knit in a region. I get invited to these people's houses, right? Like, I'm friends with these people before I do deals with them most of the time. People in Lake Charles are like, dude, how'd you get all these? Dude, I was in that community beforehand. On, let's say, malls, property management, I'm at these same networking events. Before I had kids, I made a promise to my wife. I was like, all right, I'm going to go to a different networking event every day that I can find one online. And so I got online, I went to Meetup, I found other places, and every single day I went to one networking event that I thought commercial property owners were at. I actually did that while I had kids too, until it just became unsustainable for the amount of business kind of all over the country that I was doing. And I would just say, figure out, instead of saying I'm going to go after commercial, figure out niche ways to get into these groups, right? Like, storage facility owners hang out with storage facility owners and know each other. Large warehouse owners, the same thing. Once you infiltrate the group, you now become a trusted advisor or expert in that particular group and field. And that's kind of how I do it. I also do a lot off Instagram. I do a lot off of Facebook. Facebook's really good for contractors. Instagram's real good for contractor, public adjuster. I generate a couple hotel deals probably a month off of Instagram, direct from the source. LinkedIn is good. And then have a team behind you that can, if you're very successful, can deal with the follow-up. Many people will strike gold in leads and not be able to handle their follow-up. So prior to that happening, have a process and be able to optimize that basically opportunity, because you don't need every single lead to come in, but you don't want to lose opportunities because of lack of follow-up. And that's been something that I've been very good at, just because I wouldn't say foresight, just because I made mistakes and knew how to edit my processes to have success.
Well, I love what you're talking about. Multifamily owners stick together; they refer you people. But one thing about a commercial deal, like the first big roof I did in Florida was Grant's roof, and once I taught Grant the game, he met public adjusters, he met roofers. Then he could get lots of bids. He knew the whole game. So how do you pivot? And here's what I did. Of course, his ex-asset manager. Now I invest with him. He lets me do the construction work on a lot of properties. I'm an advisor. I do a lot of risk assessment for. But even the old property management company, I get referrals from. It's about making that network out of each deal in commercial go to the property management group, the other real estate investors that guy might know, and maybe insurance agents. And so when you're really kind of going after a specific network, what's the best way to ask for referrals or build one of these strategic response networks that you got?
Perfect, man. So two different ways. I go pre-loss and post-loss. Pre-loss is the best, right? So I'm saying, I learned this from Jason Berg, never shake hands over rubble, right? Because there's a stress involved in it. So if I can make the contact prior to the issue happening, then I usually am drastically more successful, sometimes very successful in acquiring clients that way. The way I ask for referrals is pretty easy. I say, listen, this is what we do. And then I figure out what the pain point is. All right. So on many of these people, the pain point is going to be that they don't want to deal with the claim, right? But for some of them, that's not necessarily so because they have people that already do that. So I simply say, like, hey, when you guys deal with a claim or have somebody, what are the issues, right? Like, I'll listen to them and then I adjust the issues and how we can help. I mean, it changes every single day. But it's just listening to that person's issues and fixing a problem and using what we do to fix it, right? I mean, that's, I guess, sales 101. You need
Yeah,
to
we're
write
not doing
something
anything but
down. You got
problem
a pencil.
solution sales. And really, the problem is insurance companies are the toughest negotiators in the world. They need our help. They need somebody that they can trust to rebuild their property. And it's hard to find a contractor they can trust. So it's really not a hard sell. You just, go through all the problems that a bad claims adjuster and a bad contractor presents to an owner. And it's very important that he has a trusted advisor. The biggest thing is with these deals, you invest a lot of time, effort, energy. A lot of contractors, they're afraid to invest the time, effort, energy because of the amount of money, the amount of mistakes that can be made. Maybe walk me through some common mistakes that you see that contractors make,
Mm,
or maybe like that.
okay.
Yeah, walk me through the most common mistakes.
I can go off on this for a minute. So, mistake one is you're going after a project you have no ability to fulfill if you get it, right? I say this to people all the time. Everybody wants to catch a marlin, but not everybody has the tools to get it in, right? You need the right gear, step one. And a lot of people think they do. And I see this messed up commonly. And if that's the case, there is no quicker way to ruin your name in a specific storm or a specific market quicker than getting one of these deals and not being able to fulfill. Now, that's not a killer, but it's pretty bad. You and I were joking a long time, maybe on beginning of Hurricane Laura. You and I rarely talk, but I forget what we were talking about. You were talking about this specific scenario on people who effectuate service, particularly for mitigation or re-roofs, and there is no actual guarantee that the individual has a financial wherewithal to take care of it if carriers don't pay. So not being able to check the policy and making sure that these things are covered, that's a huge mistake. And then I would say the contractor having a fear of loss and pivoting too quickly inside of the insurance claim and putting themselves at later risk because they provided information that maybe isn't helpful to them or the client, but at that certain moment they thought something needed to happen immediately.
Mm.
And
That's when you get your hand in a cookie jar, man. These guys, they've been through this 100,000 times. This is what I try to explain to people. And everything's a math equation, and they start figuring out all this information. They want to know what you've done, how much investigation, how much experience, what you're going to do, if you're going to pursue litigation, are you going to pursue windows and doors. And I like to play the Huckleberry approach, where you try to build friendship with them and get them to extend as much coverage as possible, and really try to work through it by saying pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And sometimes
ooh,
good contractor to adjuster, sometimes you can get it settled without a third party. However, when you're dealing with millions of dollars, there is absolutely not a single fucking time that it's not worth it to have someone else help you, even if they're only charging a small percentage, 10%.
yep.
That's like what a PA charges. I mean, it's such a nominal fee because here's the deal. I'll go through a scenario. Maybe you could walk me through what you would have done in this scenario.
Yeah,
But,
man.
we go out to a property. We had the roofs leaking. It's got water all the inside. We get approval to put a TPO cover in writing, and we cover the whole
Yep.
entire roof. And the guy couldn't come out there. We sent him a bunch of pictures, and he just gave us written instruction that we could cover the roofs. And we covered the roofs, and we came back out there. We walked the property. Ended up looking at some of the ones and said, okay, I'll buy these roofs. And we got him actually to look at our estimate for everything. Tried to tell him, we're just going to go for the roof. We didn't really include the windows and doors and all that extra shit in there. And, we got a low mitigation estimate, an estimate for a roof replacement that was way below margin. But we got like a preliminary quote and he left the voicemail for the HOA, 1.2 million. And this is 1,000 squares, a flat. It's got 128 units, very, very low. And so basically he goes to find out conversation that once their engineers are going to come out, obviously, and we've already had our engineers out there, but now their adjuster, even though he's never put it in writing he was going to buy the roof, but did leave a voicemail recording. It was 1.2 million for the estimate. Didn't really say what was covered, what wasn't. We brought in Harvey. We went ahead and went straight for the lawyer on it. It was in Florida case, and basically Harvey's going to help us now. But essentially, I couldn't get the AOB on the case, so the letter of protection with Harvey really protects my interest. I have the emergency services contract. I have the contract for the complete replacement for insurance allowance. However, without that protection from the attorney, it's not worth a lot. But the insurance company, this is Hurricane Sally, they haven't paid a fucking dollar. Yep. And we went through this cat and mouse game of just trying to get a check, and got no check. And the bottom line is that they know that the damage is there. It's at least 2, probably 4 million, and it's just a cat and mouse game of who's going to show their hearts first.
I had a call yesterday. We have a pretty substantial couple losses in Lake Charles, and my good contractor friend of mine called me. He's like, "Dude, they are bleeding me right now," and I was like, "I know." And he was like, "They don't know what I'm about to do." It's like, I got the financial wherewithal to hold this out. Like, I'll wait them out. Every single day they wait, that interest is going to go up. And I was like, but that guy has a financial wherewithal to do it. Like, a lot of contractors do not.
Yeah, no, my mitigation bill is $700,000. They paid zero money on it, and I had to take about $2 or $3 million out of the bank to invest into the commercial jobs that we sold. I basically got to a point though that I had sold my capabilities to where if I sold another big job where I was going to have to do another 1,000 square dry-in to bring in the equipment for 128 units, I was either going to have to get cash flow from an outside source, go find it, pull it out of my ass by getting a down payment from somewhere else. But, that's not the first time I've been through that. But the reality is a lot of that money is still on the streets. And, the insurance companies are the most crooked whenever there's multi-millions on the line. So a roofer, look, I've got a lot of experience doing this, but you just do not get near the amount of credibility that the insurance company gives an attorney and a public adjuster in that as well. I mean, they just don't respect what you say. They beat you up. They use the UPPA laws against you. You put into a tough situation. A lot of times it's a cat and mouse game of being able to skirt the line, of being able to talk damage, talk estimates, but not talk about coverage and not.
Have you ever heard me talk about my thoughts on UPPA? Have you ever?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure. I'm curious.
All right. So everybody would think that I would be pro contractors having less ability, right? Because in theory, that would, all the business would go up. What ends up happening is you end up getting more claims that should never go. So if you're a good attorney, if you're a good PA, you have all the business you can stand of actually good claims. Okay. So why would I ever want, frankly, I could be fine never having another person refer a claim to our firm, probably excluding the state of Florida and Texas, under $250,000, right? Just everything would be dandy. Probably would not make a huge bit of difference. A contractor should be able to handle that, but they're being semi-neutered by the carriers. Do I think contractors should talk law? No. Do I think they should get out and just make outlandish statements about policies? Probably not. But if you're talking about, hey, should this be covered? Is this covered? And in your situation, you have a significant financial interest, right? You're about to put your money on this deal, not the insured's money. Now, the insured is going to have to pay you at some point, but when is that going to happen? And whose money is that?
Well,
Is we getting interest on there? No, you're not. So you're
let me
playing the bank.
let me explain to the problem on this deal. There's fucking 14 buildings or 16 buildings, whatever it is, and since the insurance company hasn't released any findings per building, guess what? They don't know their deductible. And like, here's the deal. The way I wrote it up, there's a couple ways you can write it up. You can say that you're going to get paid by the insurance company and that they're going to owe you for the deductible, and that's great. But without something in writing that says that there's coverage for the buildings, I don't care if there's that money in their bank account. I've done the emergency services, and
Amen.
And the idea is like, I should have sold the job and took the money from the deductible from day one. It would have made it to where it covered the cost of emergency services a little bit better. But that board, it was 11-person board, and it was part of the value that I added to make the final investment. And you know what they got? They got a contractor that's really behind them. They got someone that cares about their property, that put up the money to protect it. And then, of course, what's the end result? See, it's a shame it takes 2 or 3 years. It's a shame that I have to invest, hundreds of thousands of dollars and wait and finance this for someone who's, guess what? Their premiums, hundreds of thousands of dollars. These aren't cheap premiums.
No.
These insurance companies are getting maybe $300,000 a year from an HOA that they can't even though they know there's millions of dollars in damage, even though it's been 4 or 5 months, they can't even issue one piece of writing to show which building is where. And, like, the idea is that there's a lot of contractors that think they're smart because they can negotiate a supplement on a residential deal. But whenever you start adding millions, it doesn't matter how smart you are. You need a little bit of power. You need the power of a lawyer. You need the power of somebody who can really hold them accountable.
I've never seen a non-total loss claim over 10 million that shouldn't have been handled by attorney or like a top 1% PA. Some of my best friends are contractors, right? And it's not that they don't have the ability, it's that their ability is neutered because the carriers won't allow them to speak, right? So it's not that you don't know what you're doing. You do know what you're doing. It's they don't want to listen to you, right? It's like I tell my kids to do something and they're like, whatever, right? And they run away. Well, until I go and say, okay, you're in the corner. Okay, you're going to get popped. That's when they do it. And so that's the difference is the carrier, you guys tell the carrier and they just don't care, right? So you got to get somebody in there to give them that spanking. You got to get somebody in there to put them in that corner and let them know, hey, this is not right. And with us, one thing that we started doing is we started doing a escalated model. We do 10%, on the front end. And then if it goes into litigation, a higher amount, on files over 50 million, we do them at 5%. But, that's something that we did because we didn't want contractors to have that scare of, okay, if we introduce an attorney, if the client wants an attorney versus a PA. And that's something that I've tended to see with particularly large property owners is they have a little bit more confidence with attorneys than they do PAs. I love PAs. I think there is definitely a place for them. Some of my best friends are PAs. One of my best friends is a PA. But like what I was noticing is I would get in front of these groups and boards and individuals, and they didn't understand the practice. And I was like, man. And so James and Zach, the owners of MMA, they had that 1030 on their MSA deal, so their pre-loss managed service program. And we just rolled that into some clients' losses. We probably do 40 or 60% now of our losses on some sort of an escalated contract. And it's really, one thing that I don't want to happen is us file a demand letter, them pay the demand in like, a short amount of time, and us be like, all right, here's your 70% when maybe we didn't work a whole lot on the file, or maybe we file a CRN or a 542A notice, depending on the state, whatever it is. And and we get a huge chunk out. Maybe that's more akin to a smaller fee on some files, and some files it's not. Some files you've been to battle, you've been to war at that point, right? Like you're 100 hours in the file, but some it's not. And so, I agree with you. Like there's specific times to do it on large loss. I see it a lot on every EPDM mall that I've ever seen. It's an attorney file. And on most historic churches, it's probably an attorney file at the end of the day. I'm sure there are times when it's not, although it's rare.
That's a fact. So, I mean, a lot of times, guys, whenever the Mother Nature starts raining, all hell breaking loose, and I will be real with you, I was not like your guy who had any contacts. I had no contacts on Lake Charles. I had no contacts really in Pensacola. We, mounted up our regulator team, and we were a little bit of ragtag group compared to Belfour or compared to a Servpro. I mean, because here we are, a bunch of recruiters looking at this restoration game like we know what we're doing. We don't know fucking shit about it. Really, I mean, we've seen it year after year, and we've learned how to sell the jobs. But being a general contractor is one thing, being a mitigation guy is another. And we went in. Now, I'll tell you what I did in Lake Charles. I hit them with a voicemail blast. I hit them with my telemarketing department, and we are really good at on the road as we're running around using the telephone. And
boom, boom, boom.
And let me tell you, after the storms, there's a lot of business owners really on site, like Lake Charles, like the big church that got us a bunch of churches, that got us a bunch of stuff. The people were on site. I mean, ironically, there was 4 roofers there to bid the job. I walked up there. I was late to the meeting. The guy's eyes lit up. He's like, "Oh, I know you. I've seen your videos." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God." At that time on the cover of my YouTube, at the end of the video, it says, "First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the," and then it just goes beep. And I'm thinking, "Oh God, what did this guy see?" Well, dude, he didn't care. I mean, the deal is people like the idea that we're helping entrepreneurs, that we're getting people into roofing, that we're training other contractors. And even if they think it's salesy or they think it's kind of crazy, people making money off of disasters, at church, they had this huge giving back. And, we went and gave back a little bit. But the truth was, they saw that side of me, that entrepreneur, that hustle side of me. And the guy in charge of the property, he liked it. He's like, that's a guy. If he's honest, if he does good work, if he checks out, I want him on my team. And
that story I told you earlier about the guy that came in at 10% that I was going against, and we came into the higher amount. They said to me, well, he'll come in at 10%. And I was like, well, what was his initial offer? And they said 15. And I was like, and he went down to 10. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, is that somebody that you want negotiating your insurance claim? He just, you said no. And he said, okay, I'll do it at 10. Like, I'm not going to do that. Right. Like if you want the guy that will do it at that, and I do plenty of files or did plenty of files as, at PA at that percentage, but I knew that if I charged more, I could set myself out. Right. I knew that I wanted the deal, and they had an option that day. They could get Pate Smith at a higher amount, or they could get the guy that came in and they just knocked him down off 5%. Who do you want? Because I'm not breaking right now. Right.
No, it's confident.
This is me.
It's a confidence game, like playing Texas Hold'em. You're all in. Takes somebody to have that type of attitude. When we walk up to a property, we tell them, "Hey, we're here to investigate the storm damage. There's been a ton of mistakes out here. We're making sure you don't fuck up. Look, here's the deal. I don't know where the roof access is, but this is where the mistakes start. Can you guide me to the roof?" We're not fucking telling them, "Hi, I'm Lee Haight. I'm with RRCA. We're the leading commercial roofer in the area." No, we jump out of the roof, and we jump out of the Suburban. We're pointing and we're running, and where is the roof access? Who's in charge? Who's in charge here? And the idea is it's harder to shake hands over rubble. You lose more deals. It is harder to do. That you think you have a deal and then they cancel on you. You think you have a deal, then they
100%.
cancel on you. It sucks because you have no relationship to go off of. But the thing about commercial prospecting is once it only takes one. You tell everybody that one story. You work the regional prospects around the area. You get referrals. You get that we got basically a bunch of hot leads that we thought were going to turn into deals. A lot of them didn't. Really, you look at the percentage of the commercial leads that we ran early in the storm, it's kind of frustrating, especially when Pate already had a whole book of business handed to him and it was ready, done, and it was worked. And it was just like, man, for some people it's really easy. For some people it's not. And
I don't think it was easy. Some markets you're going to be lucky in, right? Because you already have established. Like I suck in Denver. Like I'm gonna say right now, like Pate Smith is not good in Denver. That will be changed though. Like trust me, I know Denver's going to get hit again. I've already been putting out feelers.
There you go. There you go. I mean, so when you go to pre-sell a property and you're talking to an area in Denver, what do you tell them to pre-sell them on your services?
I say, listen, guys, you guys are in Denver, Colorado. You get hit with hell. So prior to this, what I'd like to do is I go ahead and I'd like to establish a relationship. So I'm going to have our team come in. We're going to go ahead and look at the property preemptively. We're going to take photos. We're going to document it. We're potentially, if there's issues, going to make suggestions on things you could do. We're also going to go ahead and have our team of attorneys look over your policy, and then we can just later have a call on each property and do a cost-benefit analysis on the likelihood of, if you get hit with specific losses that are likely in this area, what your out-of-pocket expenses would be and what your risk is. I want to decrease your risk and decrease your chance of exposure and effort. At the time you get hit, we're going to come in, we're going to bring our team, we're going to negotiate your claim with your insurance carrier, we're going to file, we're going to give prompt notice, and we're going to work. Usually it's me and Zach or me and James or all three of us when we go pre-sale doing this. We just come in and have a discussion with them. They usually know my face, and then James and Zach are the, guys that close the deal down. They're the legal side of it, and that's kind of what we do. But I typically don't go for one. Like I go for entire portfolios. Like it's just as easy to sell 300 buildings as it is to sell one building. And the likelihood of one building getting hit is a lot less than the likelihood of some buildings get hit at a 300 building book. So I would say if you want that opportunity, spend time with the big dogs, the big fish, and don't go for the single biggest guy there. Go for the guy that's 5 below, right? Because he's not going to own 1,000 properties in the Midwest. He might own 30, right? And then you do 5 of those guys, and then you do that constantly. I also, dude, as a PA, I loved the phone sale. Okay, like that was one of my favorite things to do. Like that's what I miss about public adjusting is I miss getting somebody on the phone when I know every single person is there and I'm sitting on my couch and I'm playing Madden and I say, hey, Billings, Montana, what's up? Yeah, this is what we do. Have you reported your claim yet? Okay, awesome. When's your inspection? Have you had somebody are somebody going to represent you there? Oh, really? Okay, well, let me explain what we do. I'm going to shoot you some documents real quick. Boom, and I've already got it. What's your email? It's keyed up. They get an email. Check that. Let's discuss that real quick. So this is what we do. Are you familiar with this type of work? Have you ever had an insurance claim? Was it problematic? Oh, it was? Awesome. So here's what I want to do. I want to get one of my team members out there, have this. We're going to negotiate this for you at this percentage. I'm going to go ahead and send you a DocuSign. I love selling off my couch. Right? Like I love the fact that I can sell a $3, $5, $10 million deal off my couch, looking at HealthTrace, getting somebody to get me a contact info, and I'll make 50 phone calls and get a hit. Like, beat me. I mean, like you can't outrun around town as quick as I can go through calls. I miss that on the attorney side because we can't solicit. Like I miss that game. I miss me versus me. I don't know. That's the funnest part of public adjusting sales is a lot of PAs sell in person. I'll beat you from my house. I'll beat you while I'm beating a kid playing Madden.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, that's why I love, whenever scaling an inside sales center is the secret to my commercial insurance restoration department. We use direct mail. We use about 5 different callers, and at any given moment, they could be producing 25 to 100 commercial leads a week. my big idea is to, the man that controls the leads and the salespeople. Oh boy, that's the guy who has the keys to the kingdom. And a lot of the value that I create and the coaching that I do, man, it's really, I get just as much in return from the network and from all the things that I learned from from my students. And so, the one thing is you've been a part of a lot of communities. The difference about my community and my event coming up is the results. It's the results that, we get for people like Jeremy when they partner up with me. Jeremy Gilstrap, who really learned the commercial prospecting game's great at it. He's
one of my best friends, man.
I
love that dude.
Great guy, came into our organization, learned a lot of stuff, and was able to duplicate it for himself. But other guys too. I mean, the truth is we're helping with marketing, with recruiting, with coaching. There's some people that are helping train roofers, or some people helping train door-to-door salesmen. But what we train is like unstoppable lead sources, unstoppable recruiting forces, and the ability to land these commercial projects using that ultimate pitch you just gave. And you kind of slid right in there as a public adjuster and said, have you had your inspection scheduled yet? Do you have representation? I'm a public adjuster, and this is what we do. It's almost like you were assigned the investigation of the property. It's almost like you assumed that you're just the adjuster calling them, and you have a different tone. You're not selling, you're order taking. And it's because you know that they're better off with you than without you. And you got a contract in front of their face quickly. And now you're a virtual commercial closer, and we're going to be teaching people how to do this. That's why I want to invite you to the event. I want you to be on the commercial panel if you're interested.
Love that. Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is because you're creating a lot of free training out there for people. I think, I really started sharpening on to the Land Glide app. I'd used a lot of different things, but, just I recommend it to a lot of people because it's not $2,500 to buy. It's, everyone can get it. And, I use it in combination with Reonomy, reonomy.com/leaf for a 15% discount. And that'll get you the cell phone number and email address. It's the most easy to search on your cell phone. And I've used Prospect now, CoStar, and I think it's the best product out there in that realm. And you really
Dude, I'm glad you said that because I have been hardcore Land Glide, and everybody's like CoStar. And I'm like, I can tell you which one produces money, right? And I can tell you which one's cheaper. Like, y'all do what you want, but I can tell you what produces money, right? So if you got guys running around trying to sell, Land Glide's good. CoStar's good too. CoStar probably kicks out better PDFs, but
I mean, come on. The deal is they charge an arm and a leg. There's big contracts, and I want to be able to export the data, man. They don't understand. The people, the fucking numbnuts out there just making fucking Dumbledore calls. It's because they don't combine direct mail with a lot of follow-up phone calls with the system. We take the data out of the Reonomy technology. We put it into Facebook. We strategically make videos and advertise to them, but we don't just try to sell to them. We try and get them a downloadable free guide that talks to them about the common pitfalls that commercial property owners make. We also invite them to VIP dinners. We offer partnerships with attorneys, public adjusters, advice on their policies, and we call them and we tell them, hey, we invited you to this dinner because me and Pate Smith are going to be educating commercial property owners. You got 123 Main Street, 456 Juliet Street, and we know there's probably something going on there. You've probably been underpaid. We need to be doing one of these.
One thing I like about
why haven't we done one of these dinners?
Man. Oh, I'm down. March, anytime after March 1, man, I'm down. I'm booked with that bar exam until then. But dude, one thing I like about you is honestly, there's a line that Kanye says. It's like, people talk so much shit about me at barbershops, they forget to get their hair cut. And I was like, you're the only dude I know where like, I know like a lot of people talk shit about me. A lot of people talk shit about a lot of dudes that do real good. And like you and I like don't know each other that well. So that's why I hit you up on text. I was like, yo, we got to get to know each other, because I was listening to people talk so much shit about you. I was like, if people are talking this much shit, like something about him is real. And so then I watched a commercial video that you did where you were explaining, it was either CoStar or Land Glide, and you were going through the process. And I was like, well, Lee understands how to sell commercial off the phone, right? And that entire room was pumped. And I was like, okay, he is So like people can say anything they want.
Houston, Texas, I actually got a 900 square part. It was a retirement home in front of an audience of 50 people. It's not the first time I've done it. Another time, I can almost, when I'm going to do a training, if I'm going to train somebody on commercial, I can almost always land a whale for everyone to see. It's like a fucking fishing guide, dude. If you ever want to go commercial fishing with me, then you're going to catch a motherfucking fish. And guess what? If you can't keep up the pace, if you can't stand the heat, you may not be able to hang in the kitchen. But a lot of people don't know me. Here, the thing is that anyone that really knows who I am has a really, really hard time with hating me, because the truth is, do I have an ego? Absolutely. Am I trying to be the best? Absolutely. Okay, but I care. I care a lot about my brothers in roofing, even my enemies, even the people that talk bad about me. I pray for them. Do I want to, make sure that they could back it up in a ring? I mean, you were just talking to the middleweight best fucking boxer of our generation. This guy, you Google him, Kelly Pavlik, knocked out Jermaine Taylor from University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa's finest. Fucking knocked his ass out in fucking Tuscaloosa, dog. And after he got knocked out, in the second round, and he's in the fucking other room shooting podcasts, getting personal branding advice from me. I had to tell the middleweight champ, he's worth, 8 figures. To hang tight, I got an interview with Pate Smith. So how do my worlds come about where, this new concept of, being the best version of yourself means that you're, not just making a lot of money, but you have relationships with the people in your company, with your family, you have high quality of life, you have a business that's making impact in the community. And that to me is what the leader of an industry should be about. And do I like to have a good time? Absolutely. I failed out of college for partying too hard. I had to get sober off of alcohol and drugs for my first 2 years in the business. I struggled in mediocrity, making 6 figures, but partying my balls off like I fucking celebrated too much to my accomplishments. When I got married, it started changing my life. When I started hiring coaches 5 years ago, my life even started to change. And one thing that's different than me than many of those men is they're not as coachable as me. I'll be real. A lot of these guys. I pay for the guys, the coaching. And, that book I gave you was a book Russell Brunson gave me. Russell Brunson sent me a book
You remember that?
Yeah, man. That's an old book. It's from the 30s. But the truth is that it's called psycho-cybernetics. It's about visualizing your target, anchoring you being able to see the shot, what's the feeling like when you make a hole in one? What does it look like? And then watching the ball go into the hole, and then the championship moment of being able to deliver in that moment. I'm so addicted to these championship moments in life. As a matter of fact, the middleweight champion.
Preach right now. This is like, amen. I love this.
Well, I mean, I do like to get you to know who I am, because these people talk about me. And one of the reasons why I started doing boxing was because I wanted a healthy way to get rid of negative emotions, because sometimes I let those guys get to me, because sometimes I worry too much about what other people think. And so I wanted to get in the best shape of my life. I was drinking a lot. I was drinking just about every day. And even though I wasn't drinking a lot, but I would drink every day. And every fucking lunch, dinner, whatever the fuck, had a beer. And I had dad bod syndrome. And so I wasn't confident. And, I wanted to do 75 hard, which I failed 4 times.
I saw that.
I failed. I bought a $70,000 coaching program from Andy and Ed and failed 4 times. Fucking drinking and just not wanting to not do the workout twice a day, drink a gallon of water. Well, finally I did the fucking program. And part of the reason why is because I got into the boxing gym, fell in love with boxing. And I love the pressure and the buildup. And I know there was a lot of buildup about the energy there at RoofCon, but the RoofCon and the energy and some of the different, delivery of my speech there, a lot of it came from preparing for myself in a physical format through boxing. And, here recently, people will say, well, why do you want to fight people? Well, I'm going to fight with myself every day. I'm going to fight with, am I going to be the best version of myself? I want to have the best growth system for roofers, get as many people into the roofing business as possible. I want to have the best marketing system, best recruiting system, best commercial sales system. So I'm constantly holding myself to a highest standard. And anyways, I've got this idea that You know, every man should be able to cross off in the bucket list that they could go into the ring, that they could defend themselves. And you know, there's a lot of keyboard warriors. There's a lot of. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but you know, I quit smoking cigarettes. I started living a higher level of fitness, and now I'm preparing for a cage fight. And I certainly, you know, reached out to the people that talked the most shit about me and said, hey, let's settle this in the ring. And they don't want to talk to me anymore. They don't want to settle it in a ring. Okay. And, you know, like today, I don't give a fuck about what's going on, who's talking shit. We're fixing to have a sparring contest. There's going to be some people from all over. Kelly's going to be in there commentating, making fun of my ball-headed boxing skills. But that's going to be the new YouTube content that we have coming up. And that's this is exciting shit for me to do. Like, this is. I
agree.
This is and so at the Blue Collar American Dream Conference, we're gonna have a champions panel with Kelly, middleweight boxing champion, Randy Couture, UFC heavyweight, my friend Zach, who is undefeated in cage, and my coach Billy. And it's because I want people to try and pivot off of this, because if you're pissed off about what's happening in America, you're pissed off about sickness going around, the best thing you can do is get in better physical shape, live a healthier lifestyle, focus on what you can control, and you know, from there you can grow in business, you can grow in faith, you can grow in a lot of places, but it's a good foundation and place to start. No, you don't have to get punched in the face to enjoy boxing. But if you're a man and you think you're a badass in roofing and you think Lee Haight's a pussy, then, you know, I want to invite you to the Contractor Fight Club, and I will show you that I love my roofers. I think that you make me the best version of me. However, you know, if you think that I am not going to stand up and fight for my last name, you are dead fucking wrong. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I grew up a Cowboy fan. I grew up knocking doors. I don't know if you see me get punched by old man knocking doors, but dude, I grew up getting beat up by my cousins, my old man. I grew up in high school not as an extremely tough guy, but definitely somebody who has been in a couple of altercations. And I'm not saying that I'm a bitch, but I can tell you, like, there's a lot of people out there that run their mouth, and I'm going to find out if they're for real. And, you know,
I'll tell you, I get a lot of flack from other people in the claim space because, like, a lot of them are a lot older than me. And, you know, like, they've got their own names and all this. And no, it's not that I don't have respect for them, but, like, if you say something like, I'm not scared to be like, yeah, man, like, I don't really care who you are. Like, that's, you know, a guy said something to me in Lake Charles in front of James. I'm not going to, like, give hints on who it is or anything, but in front of my boss, and he was like, oh, you know, how do you know, you're not even supposed to be here, blah, blah, blah. Like, you've only been in the industry for like 5 years, XYZ. Like, you know, do you think if you went and you pitched against me that you would be successful? Do you think you pitched against your boss if you would be successful? And I said to him, and I said it in front of my boss, and my boss, like, knows. I mean, he didn't hire me because I'm not good at my job. And I said, literally in front of this man, I said, I don't care. Short of Jesus, I think I can outsell anybody. And the reason I can think that is because I sit and put in my time. And maybe you can beat me, but I'll tell you this, you're not going to outwork me, right? And then I looked at the man in the face because I knew he had just talked to a client, because I had talked to that client before. And the client called me and said, hey, this guy's coming in at this percent. And I'm like, yeah, we're not going to do that. And I said, and don't worry about so-and-so, because I didn't talk down about you when you're, and then I said the guy's name when he called me. I actually told him he should go with you if he wanted somebody at that percentage. And the dude's face just turned white because, you know, I had talked to his big fish that day. And that's something, like, I say this all the time, like, I'll never be angry about right now. I'm kind of like a weird spot in my life. Like, I'm not angry anymore when people talk trash. I just say, like, I owe you one, right? Like, I owe you one. So, like, the next time you do that, like, I'll just say, like, I'm going to go after one of your clients. I'll go after one of your referral sources, right? And, like, I'll get that referral source and we'll call it even. Because I just decided that, like, everybody's going to always talk. And a lot of people talk trash about Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan, and the Bulls, but at the end of the day, they had the championships. And I don't care anymore. Like, I know that I'm going to do me, I'm going to work hard, and I'm
Well,
going to put in
everybody's
the
going to
effort.
try and put your job on roller skates. They're going to try and steal your commercial work. They're going to try and take your fucking client. They can try and pretend to be your friend if they want. But the truth is, most roofers would try and take each other's fucking salespeople. They're worried about me taking their salespeople because they would do it to other people. That's not how I act. I don't have to do that. I only accept people that want to work with me. I don't hire my fucking client salespeople. But these same assholes that talk shit about me, they just think that what I'm doing is, helping the industry so I can recruit their salespeople. And it doesn't work like that. The way it works
I
is,
agree.
the people that I end up, taking are the ones that are salespeople investing into my program. And those same owners that are circle jerking themselves saying that I'm not the fucking real deal, their salespeople are going, holy fuck, Lee just closed 11-person commercial deal, filmed the whole thing, got the whole course for you to watch. I fucking spent the money on it. Next thing they know, they're in Pensacola working for me, and they were working for a $50 million company in Colorado just 2 weeks before. But guess what? Does that guy buy my training or come to my events? Well, he's a little bit more worried about another circle. What other can I get on this guy's stage? Can I like this guy and not this guy? Well, here's the deal. I could have helped him out, and if he would have been a client, I had picked up the phone and I had to say, hey, buddy, your salesman wants to come to Florida. You should work on keeping him in Denver. And you know what? He's a friend of mine, I think, because I like him. He's from Instagram, but I have no loyalty to him because he's never said, Lee, I support your movement. He's been like, fuck that guy. And he he kind of likes me now. He kind of likes the whole boxing thing. These guys, they like me. They read my emails. They still talk shit about me. And I'm one of these people pleasers, so I let it bother me for a time. But one of the ways that I get over some of this negativity is I literally love the idea of combat. I love the idea of
I like that.
preparing for combat. I think that America, we don't know what's going to happen, and it's not just my hands and fists that I want to be prepared with. I want to be prepared with bulletproof vests and an assault rifle and an ability to fucking operate in uncertain times. And so I think it's, if you have a family and you owe it to your fucking family to not be a pussy snowflake little bitch.
I will tell you, since working for MMA, James McClenny is a former operator, and if you ever get the chance to go out and shoot handguns with him, it is an experience. He took me and the wife out right after we started working over there, and I mean, he can pop.
So here's what we're gonna do. We got this venue here, and this is a little behind the scenes. This is what the Contractor Fight Club. We're gonna have a blue collar boot camp, a war camp, where there's gonna be physical activity, leadership games, personal defense training. You're going to be able to spar, but we're going to be getting tactical training to be able to shoot guns. And this is all going to be over like a weekend or retreat for owners, for men, for women who want to sharpen their ability to defend themselves and want to sharpen their ability to tackle fear and leadership. And it's going to be one of the bonuses for the people in the elite program. And
I love that.
It's these things though that we were the first roofing mastermind to get together once a quarter, to meet once a week through a training. And the thing is that I'm the only one that combines coaching with done with you marketing. We teach you how to run successful Facebook campaigns and successful recruiting campaigns online.
Oh, hold on. I got to give you mad props. So because of you, all right, and your little your Facebook, your sponsored ads on Facebook, I started running strategic Instagram sponsored ads because I was killing off my Facebook off of organic, and then also driving to the company off organic. And I watched something, so then I had a thought on how I wanted to reach specific markets off of Insta. And that was actually bred off of that one video from you when I was like, okay, like I understand what Lee's doing here to drive to his to Sky Diamonds. And so then I started like expounding in that thought process, but like that was actually because of you and that ad. And now that's what, I don't know if you ever get hit with a Pate Smith ad, but that's what drove the Instagram Pate Smith ad, was that ad.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm happy to help you, and I'll give you a lot of shit to study and homework to do. I love being a marketing coach. I love being a guy that helps, like Guy Kelly. He's building his Instagram following. You should follow him, Pavlik.Kelly. But we're going to be selling home boxing setups and home boxing workouts for a year. We're going to give an interactive online Facebook group and hopefully get more contractors physically fit. Shit. I'm in the best shape of my life.
I just dropped 37 pounds in
How much you
like
weigh?
9 weeks.
How much you weigh?
I'm in like the 180s.
Ooh, watch out, dude. You're right there in the same weight class as me. I'm
How tall
181.
are you? How
I'm
tall? What are you trying to get down to? 165?
no. I walked around before with the dad poof about 195, 198. Now I'm down to 181, 6'1" and
I
a
was
half.
at like 212. I was puffy, son. Your boy was puffalicious. But yeah, I dropped that. I put on a pretty regimented like basically all I did was I did Tim Ferriss's slow carb 4 days a week. Then I went no carb 2 days a week. Then I did a refeed day. Then in the gym, I followed a pretty specific lifting protocol. And then I had like basketball specific workouts because I got a little bit of hip problems from 2017, little injury. And those usually keep me kind of loose and flexible. But yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm trying to drop all the way back down to like low 170s, high 160s by, I don't know, like April or so. Just make sure I keep my strength up. I'm trying to also get my incline bench up to where I can work back out on incline at 225.
Ooh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Like I
I'm
tell
I'm
you, man,
getting close.
I'm telling you, dude, there's a community of us that want to live the highest quality of life, maximize our potential. I told Paul and Eric that they could bring roofers to recovery and bring a booth out there, and that I would give them space for a booth. I think what they're doing is great. It's a good cause for our industry, and the one thing about it is that we know how to work hard and play hard, and if you really prepare, if you live by the right principles, you can still have a good time too. And that's why I rented out Live nightclub, and I got the whole fucking nightclub, Pate. I had the whole fucking night.
That's pretty legit. Live
Yeah,
is
that's pretty fucking
that is
legit, dude. Everybody thinks that Lee knows how to have a party. We're gonna have a yacht party on Sunday, Live nightclub on Saturday. I got special fucking entertainment that's gonna blow everybody's mind away. I'm talking about blow your fucking mind. And beyond that, March 13th, 12th, and 13th at the Fountain Blue. Dude, here's the thing. All the other
March
roofing.
13th is my twin's birthday. You may have to watch. I might be able to swing this. I might bring the whole family down.
You should bring the whole family. We'll figure out how to make it happen. If you bring 5 contractors with you, we'll get you the junior suite and a babysitter. But that being said,
everywhere I go, I got 5 contractors with me.
No, I know that. No, we do need to get the word out there, because here's the deal, guys. There's a bunch of people out there charging a lot of money for conferences. They end up giving you the same boring information. They're not dynamic speakers. We've gotten mid 9 figures in results for our clients, mid 9 figures in results for ourselves. Pate's seen the commercial results, the areas. We're the real fucking deal. And if you want to learn commercial, you want to learn Facebook ads, you want to learn recruiting, you want to learn how to scale to 9 figures, you're going to learn from someone that failed at it, or you're going to learn from someone that's doing it. And, the truth is I brought a guy, Ed Milet, that really helped take my game from, where I was to where I'm at right now. He's the best speaker I've ever heard. And, I don't even see any other speakers at the other big industry events on these calibers. And, these guys are my coaches, Brad Lee, Ed Milet, Randy Couture is a friend of mine's trainer. My friend Zach got me this concept that I wanted to train to win, that maybe I wanted to do this like boxing fitness and maybe even prepare for potentially an MMA cage fight, which is crazy. Why would I want to do that? Well, for one, I want to do it for my kids, my legacy. I want to do it for, myself. I want to, I like to go out there and sharpen my skill, and I want to see it in action. And
that championship moment. Like,
yeah, I
I
do,
feel
bro.
like you're the same on what drives you. Like, I do not care about money. I care about, as long as my family is able to be taken care of, I want to wake up every day and I want to feel that W, right? I'm just like, bah, like that feeling is like that, what keeps me going. right? Like that's it. People are like, somebody said to me one time when I was a PA after I sold a really large deal, they're like, dude, you should take the rest of the week off. And I was like, oh, no, not now. Like, we just got the mojo, baby. Like, right now, it's time to hit it. It's time to stack these W's, right? But, and I think that's you, man. I think you want to stack the W's. Yeah, and I love that. But, and that's why process is important, and that's why you buy into it, because you buy into a process, you buy into what's giving you the W's, and you're like, I can repeat this.
Let me explain to you how I fucking found this process. Okay, let me explain to you. It's been 15 years. First of all, my dad and my uncle did really well. They had a process. I worked off of it. And essentially, about 5 years ago, I started learning direct response marketing, social media marketing, some of the bigger concepts that you see me execute. And I started changing my game. And I started coaching other people. And so I started, not only do I need to make myself successful, I need to make others. And so the system has to work for me. It has to work for everybody. It has to be so simple a roofer can implement it. And with my life's mission and purpose to facilitate others' success, I went to work. And over the last 5 years, the system really sharpened up. It sharpened up in a way that I can't believe it's evolved the way it has. The ability for us to help roofers land 20 or 30 jobs a month through social media, to hire 5 to 10 new sales reps a month, to land 5 to 10, maybe even 20 commercial extra jobs a year. Find automated ways to recruit and train their sales guys so they have, an ability to double sales. Everyone that does our system almost doubles sales. And, myself doubling sales last year with the system to 9 figures almost. And it's like this year on the way to 200 million. And the whole while, it's because of my team. It's because of the people. It's because of me having a lot of mentors, a lot of people that I'm mentoring, and a lot of people that I'm competing with. See, a lot of the people that don't like me, the coaches don't like me because I'm in their space. The consultants don't like me because I'm in their space. The PAs don't like me, guess what? Because my best friend's in their space. The roofers don't like me because I'm in their space. And the truth is like we can all exist. We're all in our own lane. We're all our own competition. And instead of hating the guy who is leading by example, you should get as close to him as possible, even if you don't like him. And you should fucking find out what the fuck is working and if half of what I'm saying is true. And that's why you must come to Miami, where I've dropped damn near $500,000 on the fucking hottest and best guaranteed contracting growth conference of all time. I will destroy the other fucking conference that is going on in March with my quality, with the quality of energy, with the quality of the system, with the quality of the speakers, with the quality of the venue, with the quality of the after party, with the quality of the boat party, with the quality of the fucking celebrities. And let me tell you, if you miss out on my party because you think you were at a better party somewhere else, you're going to regret it, son, because all the blue-collar ballers that get into the Live nightclub, that are a part of the elite, that get on track to double, triple, quadruple sales, we're going to take over. And I'm really excited about the like-minded new breed of roofer that attracts me. I'm a bull. I attract other bulls. These guys are, usually not the old guys. Usually these are the up-and-comers. And for the guys out there that are the old guys, dude, if you get with me, I can give you youth. I can give you that young bull push that you need to future-proof your fucking business. And so I hate to say it, but we all need to channel a little bit more of our inner fighter during these tough times. Technology is going to make you more of a commodity. There's going to be more roofers being harder and harder to separate in the crowd. There's going to be less people, that really, really are excited about going door to door and being a roofer. And so you better start learning how to make roofing sexy, how to execute the commercial sales plan.
I cannot second more what you're saying. That I just told somebody that's a contractor. I've actually got a call on Friday with a buddy of mine that's a contractor, and we're going to talk about literally the same thing. But I want to say this, if you're a contractor and you're in a market and 30% of your business is not coming from online at this point, just think about it like this. I didn't know what I was doing. I used Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, and BNI messaging, and I sold the deals that you wanted off of, hey, is this your building? Oh yeah, cool. Hey, are you available for a call? ? Like a spam message, and I'm selling 15 million in a month, and I don't know what EPDM roofing is.
It's ridiculous. Right? These guys got to figure it out.
If you're not hopping on, likely I don't really care, but you need to learn how to do this process, because the guys that can are going to beat you, and they're going to beat you before you can get in your truck to
Amen.
drive to the property.
Well, dude, I want to count on you at the event with 5 contractors, and I want everybody that's a Large Loss Lounge fan to recognize that this conference is going to be off the chain, and we want you there. Now, here's the real details. I've sold about 300 tickets. We got about 6 weeks to go. I guarantee I'm going to sell out. They're going 10, 12 a day. And I'd like to get you in here. Now, we do have a limited amount of VIPs. VIPs mean you meet Randy Couture, you meet Ed Milet, you take pictures. We handle the COVID rules by taking your temperature at the doorstep. But at the Fontainebleau, you're in Florida, where the governor is going to give you your freedom. And so here's what you need to do. You need to escape. You need to break away to make a breakthrough. You need to join us at the Blue Collar American Dream Conference. Go to bluecollarconference.com. Pate, can I count on you, my man? You're gonna help on the commercial panel?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to get you some. I want to. Yeah, for sure, dog. You asked me, I'm there. I mean, I've got mad respect for you after, for sure, seeing how you literally dropped one of the biggest knowledge bits on how to get commercial claims for free online. I was like, yeah, this dude like understands the game. So yeah, you got me. I'll get some people up too, man. Like I'd love to do that. Plus, I mean, I definitely want to get some knowledge from the other people on the panel.
No, man, I'm telling you, dude. There's some big hitters, and we're gonna be talking deals. We're gonna be talking specifics. So,
also on the 13th, if we're there, make sure you tell my kids happy birthday.
I will.
That's.
If you bring your kids and actually show up, man, I'm gonna owe you big time.
Oh, I'm planning on showing up. It's whether I can get the whole squad there or not. So.
I know you just had a baby, right? You just had a brand new baby, right?
Oh yeah, Anna Catherine.
Yes.
I got nothing but girls. Yeah, man. She's at the crib right now.
Your wife's already out and about. Y'all went to Costa Rica here recently. Did you take the kids there?
We didn't. We needed a little break. I'd been on the road, and then we had the kids, and I've been just giving it hell lately. And I was like, I need 4 days, and we went down there and just chilled a little bit. Yeah, her parents were in town. They took care of the kids, and it was just a nice little getaway. But man, yeah, that's my game. That's why I do all this mostly, is just because they're kind of like my drive. So
me too, my man. Well, I got to run. I got another podcast coming up with Dustin Biegler from Apple Roofing. It's going to come up.
I'm about 30 minutes from Dustin Biegler right now.
That's
like just straight down the road.
That's
30 minutes.
All right, from Omaha to Omaha. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Pate Smith, man. Where can they follow you at?
Man, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. My Facebook's almost maxed out, so that's been tough to deal with. I'm not gonna do a non-personal page. I don't think I'm that cool yet. But hit my Instagram. It's Pate. Let's see what this is. Pate G Smith, Pateg Smith, Smith, and then obviously Large Loss Lounge and McClenny Mosley and Associates. We do a show every week. I try to find the best people I can that's not dropping repetitive content. I got a guy that used to be a defense counsel for Lloyd's and a couple other larger carriers that now works for us. I went to law school with him, and we're just doing a Q&A today on the difference between when he worked on the defense side and what he experienced for the carriers, and now on the plaintiff side.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Check us out there.
Hell yeah, man. Check that out, buddy. All right, see you next time.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Have a good one.